is he farting?
Hi everyone! This is ANYA Lasagna. It's been quite some time since my last traveling video, but here I am. Today, I'm going to take you guys with me to Genoa, or in Italian, Genova. It's a vibrant city just 2 hours away from Milan, and before coming here, I had heard a lot of great reviews about the city, so let's see what we can do in one day here.
Let's run away and break new ground.
After a short walk from the so-called entrance to the city, we get to the Piazza della Vittoria. Now this arch is dedicated to the people from Genoa who died during the World War I. I was a little bit surprised that despite it being such an important monument, it wasn't really protected, from the vandalism, so you can see graffiti all over the base. Now behind the arch you can see the flower arrangements in the shapes of the 3 caravels of Christopher Columbus, Spianata delle Caravelle. Next we got to the shopping street of Genoa, which is called 20th September. Apparently it rains a lot in Genoa, so we were very lucky with the weather. There are quite a few luxury shops and bars, but that's not really what caught my attention. What did impress me was the ceiling with various intricate ornaments. Did you know that black and white were considered the colors of ancient Genovese noblemen? And now we are at the Piazza dei Ferrari, the main square and the symbol of the city of Genoa, with a big fountain in the center. While I felt like the majority of the streets in the city weren't too crowded, this square definitely reminded me that Genoa is in fact a very popular spot among the tourists. Surrounding the fountain, we can see different buildings like Carlo Felice Theatre and the Ducale Palace, home to different conferences and exhibitions. And now we are approaching the famous Cathedral of San Lorenzo, part of which was being restored. The cathedral is in black and white marble, remember the noble colors, with 2 large lions in front of the entrance. This cathedral was built in 1100 during the Second World War. It was bombed, but the bomb didn't explode. And now you can see this bomb inside the building. Something really cool we found out about this cathedral is that apparently apparently there's a legend that there was a small dog around the sculptors when the cathedral was being built. However, the dog was lost and never found again. The sculptors wanted to remember the dog though, so they carved this tiny sculpture of him onto the facade of the building. Look how cute it is! Get up. Oh, what's that? So here you can see the Royal Palace, or otherwise called Palazzo Stefano Balbi. This is one of the major historic buildings. It is a museum complex consisting of the historic residence, the garden, and the picture gallery. The gallery of the Royal Palace, which is one of the main city galleries. We were very lucky to come here on a Rolly day, which we had known nothing about, but apparently on a Rolly day you can get access to any of the museums in the city for free. Wow, look at that. Whose throne is this? So this building is part of an important 17th to 18th century architectural complex in Genovese Baroque style. And here you can see the rooftop. This part was absolutely breathtaking. You can see the city and you can see the garden, the palace yard from above. And this is a road to lunch. Not an easy one. And finally, it was lunchtime. For lunch, we decided to try testaroli in tomato sauce. It's a special type of pasta, very unique in texture. It kind of tasted like light, thin, gelatinous sponge. And stuffed sardines in Genovese style. The sardines were very fat and meaty, but the fried coating was very light and not oily at all. That's very slow. Okay, and this is the old port, or Port Antico. There's always something special about port cities. I think it's just, the air is a bit different, the vibes are different too. First, we were debating about going into the Aquarium of Genoa, but in the end, we decided to go for it. Oh my, they're so big. So slow. We spent 2.5 hours there, and I can say it was definitely worth it. Just like a torpedo, horizontal.
Is he farting?
On its website, they claim that it's the biggest aquarium in Europe, which is a bit of exaggeration. I mean, maybe it was. It used to be one, but it's still on the list of top 10 biggest aquariums in Europe, so I didn't regret going there at all.
Oh my god, look at the limbs.
It looks like it's done with life. It's like...
Please help me. Ow, 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 ow.
The next place we visited was Basilica della Santissima Annunziata del Vastato. That's a very long name, and I actually don't know if there's an English equivalent of that. So the building is one of the most representative churches of the Genoese art of the late Mannerism and early Baroque of the 17th century. I really like this, I don't even know how to call it, like the podium from where the priest talks, because it's elevated. Now this part over here, to me at first looked like a painting, but actually the balcony part is real. Hey, it's a difficult walk, okay? That's very picturesque. So, closer to the evening, we decided to go up to Spianata Castelletto, and this was probably my favorite point, the favorite place in the whole city. This is a square from which you can enjoy this magical view of the whole city. God, that is so pretty. And we can also see the port. Let's go up here. And I absolutely love the view of the rooftops. So enjoying a nice cup of coffee or an ice cream here is an absolute must. And my favorite thing, aka eating, was the last activity of the day. I did feel a tiny bit guilty eating seafood after having visited the aquarium, but we just had to try the cod fritters because it was a specialty there. And the octopus. And of course, we couldn't leave the city without trying the famous Genovese pesto, which is a lot lighter and smoother than the ones I've tried before. Alright, well, I really hope you enjoyed this one-day tour around Genoa with me. Please stay tuned for more trips in the future.
That's it for today, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!